Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am so grateful to be here. I am so glad to be here. You all know yesterday was Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day, I looked it up. It's been around since 1908. A lady that started it actually wasn't a mother, but she did it to honor her mother. Became official in 1914, I think it was. Woodrow Wilson finally signed a measure. And look at, to this day, second Sunday of May, we're celebrating our mothers. And as I reflected on my mother, I thought about many things, and I came to the conclusion, after all these years, that my mom was a weightlifter. Didn't know it. She was a weightlifter. And I was the weight. I was the weight. And as I reflect on it, she didn't push me. She lifted me. I'm going to tell you two stories. One about my earliest recollection of her lifting me, and then of my last moment with her lifting me. I was barely in preschool, I think. Just very young. I went looking for my mom. I was probably 5, 6-ish, that area. So maybe kindergarten, first grade. I couldn't find her. So I said, Mom, I went in the backyard. Mom. And she goes, I'm up here. And I'm looking around, and she's up at the top of a tree. My mom loved to climb trees. So I said, okay. So she says, come on. So I get over at the bottom of the tree, and I'm like, Mom, I can't. Yes, you can. So she crawled down a little bit. She reached down her hand, and she put her hand up on a branch and said, just grab hold right here. Now put your foot right here. And so she held my hand and kind of steadied me, and up I went. And at each level, she lifted me. And she said, put your hand on this branch. It's stronger. Put your foot over here. It'll hold you better. You see where I'm going with this? A life metaphor of how my mother lifted me throughout my life. I reflect back, I've told some of you, if I could tell you the perfect combination of my mother, it would be the blend of Mother Teresa with Lucille Ball. She was the most arrows out woman I know, and yet at the same time, she was the funnest to be around. There's a scripture in Proverbs I like because I think it describes her. It's in Proverbs 31, 25, and 26. It says this, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. And I think that actually celebrates my vision of my mom. All right, I told you about the first. So now let me tell you towards the end. She passed away January 4th, 2015. The last time I was with her where we had an audible conversation, I was sitting there and she reached out and grabbed my hand. I'm going to show you a picture of it. And it looks just like she's lifting me. She's got one hand steadying me, one hand lifting me. And she said, son, she'd been very quiet, almost sleeping. She opens her eyes. They brighten up. And she smiles and she says, son, I love you. And I said, I love you too, Mom. And she goes, I love you eternally. And before I could say it back, she said, again, I love you eternally. Lee, eternally. Do you hear me? I said, I hear you, Mom. And I look at that picture. I have it. I'm sharing it with you. She was lifting me, and she continues to lift me. So it started with climbing a tree, and it ended with her lifting me. Kind of a celestial lift, if you will. So I'm so grateful for Mother's Day. And we think about, I want you to reflect on the vital lessons that you've inherited from your mothers. Think about how you can climb your own life's trees now using the tools that your mom gave you. Which lesson from your mother has given you the strength to reach new heights? Take a moment. You'll find it no matter what, and then capture it. Thank you for being with me this Monday. Thank you for allowing me to share this story. I hope it's meaningful to you in some small way. Have a great week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.